So one way to avoid saying anything painful is just to avoid saying anything, period. Just be silent. But silence isn't always golden. We're social creatures who live in families and communities, and we thrive on communication. We have so many things to share, our wisdom, advice, experience. So how do we speak up for the values and causes we care about without causing discomfort to those who are listening? The trick is to think before we speak, so our words accomplish their intended purpose without causing a negative reaction in the minds and hearts of our listeners. Let me give you an example of what not to do. Let's say I believe that everyone should only eat organic produce. When I bump into my neighbor at the grocery store, I think, this is my chance to finally convince her. So without really thinking, I say something like, boy, anybody who eats non-organic is stupid and they're poisoning themselves and their families. Yikes! In my zeal to convince her, I started out by criticizing her. So of course, she goes on the defensive. She immediately starts thinking of arguments to counter my attack. You don't know what you're talking about, or boy, you're crazy accosting people at the supermarket, or even, you're not so healthy either. I might have had the best of intentions to share helpful advice, but I undermined my own efforts with how I said it. That's onas devarim. My neighbor felt offended and shrugged off anything I had to tell her. Now my friendship with that neighbor just went down a notch, and forget about her ever buying organics. Next time, maybe I can leave out the onas devarim. Instead of making her feel attacked, I can take a softer, more respectful approach. Maybe I could say, I know those non-organics are often less expensive. Maybe you haven't seen some of the data. I just read this amazing article. Could I share it with you? Now maybe she appreciates that I cared enough to mention it to her. And who knows what produce aisle I might find my neighbor in next week. Maybe even the organics. Today we can all practice effective speech without onas devarim. Take note of the emotional reaction of whoever you're speaking to. Are your words and your tone helping or hurting you make your case? I'm Nancy Litz, and I'm trying to always think before I speak.